I'd like to call this evening's City Council meeting to order. If you'll all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. Well, we are delighted to see so many citizens here tonight. The first item on the agenda is what's called the consent agenda. It's a listing of items that are to be acted upon with a single motion and vote. It's designed to expedite the handling of limited routine matters by City Council. I will ask if a citizen or a council member wishes to have any specific item removed from the consent agenda for discussion, and at that time, a member of the public or council might request that an item be removed prior to council's vote. The items on tonight's consent agenda include approval of the work session and regular meeting minutes of February the 12th, 2019, and the approval of the expenditure vouchers for February the 26th, 2019. Would anybody like to have either of these items removed?
I don't have any.
May I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda presented with the extra expenditures of $28,398.57.
A second.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Carlson. Aye. Betts. Aye. Sheik.
Aye. We have no presentations tonight. At this time, if there is a citizen in the audience that would like to address council about anything that is not on the agenda, if you step to the podium and state your name and address. Okay. We're beginning with public hearings. We have a number of public hearings this evening. The first is on Ordinance 1264, Series 2019, inclusion of theaters in the open zone in the City of Cortez Land Use Code. Tracy.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. As you are all well aware, there is interest in installing an outdoor stage in Montezuma Park. The land use code is not clear, and you can interpret it as a theater, and theaters are not defined in our current code, but the range of definitions out there that the closest used in our land use code is theaters. So the Planning Commission has discussed this subject several times, and we also held a neighborhood meeting in December. And on February 5th, staff presented a change to the land use code to allow theaters as a permitted use in the open zone. And at that time, the Planning Commission discussed the proposal and passed a unanimous motion to allow it as a conditional use. Since then, Council has discussed this and made a motion to hear the amendment as the original staff recommendation, which was as a permitted use in the open zone, and that is what is before you tonight.
All right, Council, are there any questions or comments?
Or is this the one that's going to be when they're going to build the stage or whatever?
Yes.
So when they do decide, whenever it gets plans to go through P&Z and you guys, are we going to have our opinion on it to see what kind of stage is going to be there?
So if this goes forward, as it would most likely be a site plan review as a P, a permitted zone, instead of a conditional use permit. And actually, Montezuma Park is just under a ½ acre. And so typically we could only take it to the Planning Commission per the land use code. So site plan review under ½ an acre is only required to go to the Planning Commission. I'm not 100% sure if there's a provision to call it up further.
Yeah, I was just curious to see what kind of design it would be. I have confidence in John there.
I'm sure you would have the opportunity to sit in if you were interested.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this time, I'd like to open it up for a public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this ordinance?
Where's that guy?
You turn your mic on.
Yeah, just
Button
put-
there, up there, the other one, up above you there should be.
Just push it so
Well, it
it's
says
green.
push
Mark.
it, it'll turn green.
There we go. Mark Drudge, 2210 Tucker Lane, Cortez. I'm the director of the Cortez Retail Enhancement Office. First of all, I want to thank all the positive comments I've heard from council so far directed to me about the potential of having the band shell put in Montezuma Park. And I want to assure the council too that as we move forward with this, that we're really looking at this, that CREA is really the funding arm of this. We're not just the sole design of this, that anything we do, the design is going to go to the city. In fact, we're meeting with Mayor Sheik and someone from the Arts Council and a contractor just for design ideas. We're meeting with them next week. And then as we do this, those will be available to council to see. And then whatever, I'm not sure, however that goes to P&Z afterwards, but that we're really, we want to do this the way you all want to have it done so that it fits your needs and because it is your band shell when this is all done. So again, we just appreciate the positive comments and the everything so far.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Anybody else? All right, I'll close the public hearing. There are no other questions or comments. May I have a motion, please?
Your Honorable Mayor, I make the motion to approve on second reading ordinance number 1264, Series 2019, and ordinance amending Section 3.05A of the Land Use Code to allow theaters as a permanent use in the open zoning district.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. All right, goody. All right, the next item under public hearings is ordinance 1263, Series 2019, neighborhood business to the open zone, to an open zone. Tracy.
Okay, so this is the second piece of this discussion. The Montezuma Park is currently zoned neighborhood business, and the Planning Commission wanted to rezone it to open space to make it more clear what the acceptable uses would be in a park. Council has discussed this at a previous workshop, and P&Z voted to recommend approval of the rezoning. And the rezoning criteria, in short, is that it's not zoned in error. We assume that smaller parcels were zoned the same as the area around them at the time that the map was changed back in, I believe, 1996. It is a changing area, but the park is already a park, and so this will clarify the use of the land, and it will be beneficial to do that. The supporting policies in the comprehensive plan are that there's many that promote parks and recreation. And there's nothing specific to how they're zoned, but I think just clarifying what happens in a park through the open space zone is supporting that. It's a spot zone in the sense that it will apply to only one parcel, but because it's a municipal use, it benefits the needs of the local government, and it's typical for local government facilities to be where they are needed. So it's not beneficial in the sense that it's benefiting like one private landowner. So staff recommends approval of the rezoning.
Any questions? All right, at this time, I'd like to open this up to public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak for or against this ordinance? If there are no other questions or comments, may I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the final reading, ordinance number 1263, Series 2019, rezoning property address 15 West Montezuma Avenue, known as Montezuma Park, from neighborhood business to open zone.
Noyes. Noyes, you second.
Yeah.
Noyes.
Aye.
It was right after that.
Click on the drum.
Keel.
Aye.
It was together. Betts.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. All right, the next item is Resolution Number 5, Series 2019, that has to do with approving a conditional use permit for the establishment of a K-5 school at 25 North B Street and a middle school at 125 North Linden, as submitted by Stacy Wyan, agent for the Children's Neva Montessori School. Neva.
All right. So the Children's Kiva Montessori School is proposing to establish a K-8 school at 2 locations, 25 North Beach Street and 215 North Linden. 25 North Beach is zoned Central Business District, and 215 North Linden is zoned Commercial Highway. All schools require a conditional use permit to operate in all zoning districts. The school is currently operating out of Crow Canyon and will lose their space when the facility opens in March. The Kiva School does have a current conditional use permit at 601 North Mildred. However, that building is under renovation and not currently inhabitable at this time. So the Kiva School is requesting to use the buildings at 25 North Beach and 215 North Linden until their location at 601 North Mildred can be occupied. 25 North Beach will house the K-5 children, and for 3 years previous was used as the Kiva School. The building at 215 North Linden will house the 6th through 8th graders, and previously the Goal Academy was at this address. No exterior construction is planned for either building. The Kiva Montessori staff believe that both buildings are a very temporary location for their school. According to the applicant's narrative, the location at 215 North Linden will have 10 to 15 students with 2 staff on site, and the location at 25 North Beach will have 40 to 47 students with 6 to 8 adults on site. The applicant has submitted a pickup and drop-off circulation plan for each location. The drop-off and pickup at North Beach will follow most of the procedures from the 2015-2017 school years, with students dropped off on North Street. The only difference is that the students will not gather at 18 North Beach to be walked across as a group. Instead, a staff member will be present at the drop-off pickup area, and another will be present at the crosswalk to assist students across beach to the building. The 215 North Linden drop-off and pickup plan states the vehicles will travel south on Linden, allowing students to exit on the sidewalk to the east of the building. One staff member will be present at that location. And then there's a mistake in your packet. It says the vehicles will travel northbound, but the vehicles will continue southbound on Linden. The Planning and Zoning Commission did hear this project on February 5th, and they did vote to recommend approval to council with a 4-to-1 vote. The dissenting vote expressed concerns about traffic and the children's safety at the Beach Street location. So the land use code outlines off-street parking and loading requirements for schools. Schools require 2 spaces per 20 students. The applicant has shown that 6 spaces are available at 25 North Linden and 12 available from a leased vacant lot at 120 East Main for the 25 North Beach location. With an enrollment of 63 students, the land use code requires 7 parking spaces total, which the school will meet. So both of these locations have been used as schools in the past, in the recent past, actually. The school hours are proposed to be between the hours of 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, with a half day on Wednesdays. There's already adequate public services to these structures. The project was sent out for review, and there were no major comments for these facilities. I did today receive a letter and with some photos for a neighbor at 218 West Montezuma Avenue that had some concerns about the 215 North Linden site, and Linda handed those out, and they're available to you. So he did have concerns about the traffic on the street on Linden. He had concerns about the distance of the fire hydrant, the parking for 215 North Linden is from an alley, so it's typical city alleyway width, which is pretty narrow, but that's where the parking for this building is. And this review was sent out to Public Works and the fire department, and neither had concerns or comments for this project.
You say the fire department was quizzed about the safety and had no concerns? Okay.
Yeah, there are several fire hydrants in the area, and this school is about 320 feet from 2 different fire hydrants. I don't know what that means, but our fire chief didn't have an issue with that. So, and I think that's about it. One of the conditions for this project was that just in case 601 North Mildred remains unoccupiable for a while, that this conditional use permit will come up for a review again in March of 2020. So we'll review the conditions again.
So they're really just basically wanting a place to finish out the school year with the hopes that potentially they'll be able to move into their...
Yes, I don't think this is an ideal situation for the school, but it's like the worst case scenario. So they're doing what they can to stay in operation for the next few months.
Yeah, we did this at the Beach Street before, and I'm not remembering the language that was in. We did this at Beach Street before, and I don't remember the language exactly from the resolution, but I thought it was more of an annual permit that was renewed almost automatically unless after review council had a problem. The reason I'm saying that is you're pretty much permitting a school there for a long period of time, and so if you want them to move out to the new building, maybe it should be an annual permit.
I think, Mike, if I remember correctly, it was yearly. They had to come back to us every year.
And this one doesn't say that. It says until such time as the permit has expired, and there is no expiration date listed anywhere on the permit that I saw. So that would be my only suggestion, is we amend the resolution to state that this is an annual permit reviewed annually, and something maybe to the effect that renewal will not be unreasonably withheld, but something to keep them moving forward on the building out there.
Can we do that easily tonight, just by making that addition?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. To change E to read that it's an annual permit to be renewed in March of each year, commencing in March of 2020, and renewal will not be unreasonably withheld.
Well, you're talking about this.
Yes, sir.
This request right now, right?
Yes, sir.
But I thought it was just going to be temporary.
It is.
It is, but it doesn't really say that in the resolution.
That's
when you
what I was
read.
going to say. I didn't read that, but I heard that it was just going to be temporary.
Right.
Until they got the other building back in. So in other words, we're approving this for the next 4 or 5 years?
Just 1 year at a time.
That's what I'm saying, but, okay.
Well, that's what Mike is saying. Is that if
I
we
know
wanna
what he's
add
saying,
that,
but I'm
yeah.
saying is, I'm just wondering. It's just,
So we can make that addition.
You can do it, as always, you can do it how you see you want to do it, but I'm recommending it be an annual permit renewed each year in front of just council. They don't have to go through the whole process, but it just comes back to you folks. Every March, it'll be on your agenda.
The place on Linden, does it have to meet ADA specs, or does it already? Is that a concern?
I'm not sure. I don't know if we looked at it for meeting ADA requirements.
Is that necessary for their use, or?
That's a good question.
Well, do they have handicapped children that would need, I mean, if they don't have any
Well, that I
children
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, but either way, it would be for the public, wouldn't it? Do you think that we need it for the public?
Well,
I have no
my guess
idea.
is that
I'm
it's
just
a public
asking.
building now, so it probably would be, unless it's too old to fit under
That's what I
that
was wondering.
requirement. Yeah.
They would have to meet anything prior to getting the right CO. Wait, I mean,
I'm sorry, Tracy, did you say they would not?
no, if they needed to meet ADA
Okay.
requirements, they would have to prior to getting a CO for the type of occupancy unless they're already cleared for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Yeah, just curious. I had no idea. So.
I didn't notice in the packet any feedback from the businesses nearby. I know there's a collection of office suites in that facility. Do you know if any of them were contacted about their position on this?
I believe the school has talked to the businesses. All property owners within 300 feet of the both locations were given notice of the public hearing, that the conditional use permit application was moving forward, and I haven't heard any response. The only response back that I've received from a neighbor is this one.
Another thing I just want to point out, the address that's in the agenda is different than the address that's on the resolution. Address on the agenda is 125, and the one in the resolution is 215 for Linden Street.
I think it is 215, if I recall.
All right, the location is 215 North Linden.
Okay.
Are there any other questions, Council?
So, I got another one. I was going to say the bottom line, they meet all the requirements, correct?
Yes.
Well, on the Beach Street, I mean, that's the same property that they occupied up until this fall, so.
Why are they using different parking than what they used for the fall?
The building is under, I don't know if it's new management, but that parking is not available to them. There is no parking for 25 North Beach. They were using the parking lot behind 18 North Beach for their needs. They're not using that building.
So that lot's the one that they're going to use is the one that's owned by Mr. Tom's, is that correct? 25 East Main, that one that's right on the front between the Moose and More and Mr. McCabe's office?
It's behind.
Behind it, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, on that aerial, it's a long, skinny building, horizontal there.
Okay.
Mike, just to be clear, when we say that we're renewing this, I'm looking at E, beginning in March of 2020, annually, such time that the permit has expired for the purpose of determining if the conditions of approval are being adhered to. So if we choose to agree to this, we're renewing it annually starting in March
Of 2020.
of 2020. Up until then,
You're going to issue the conditional use permit tonight, and then, or approve it, and then it would be good until March of 2020. And so at some time, we'd have to schedule it before before the end of March for council to review and renew, or not.
it's a little vague in comparison to how we usually do it, isn't it?
This is a whole, well, this was, I don't think these folks are looking for this for a permanent location, so we didn't want to put a permanent conditional use permit in, was my recommendation. We do something temporary.
Wasn't that the same thing that happened with the Beach Street location? I know it wasn't permanent, but it was supposed to be for a year, and then it ended up being far greater than a year.
Right, but we looked at it each year as we renewed it. We didn't seem to have problems renewing it. The school did everything above and beyond what they were supposed to. There was no reasons not to renew it, but
do we need to have dates specific dates prior to March of 2020 saying it'll be in occupancy from this date to this date?
No, I think we just have to say that this is a temporary conditional use permit, which will be reviewed and renewed by council in March of 2020. You know, the permit may be revoked for good cause, but something along those lines, or whatever I said before, and I didn't write it down.
I'm wondering, not to muddy the waters or make this more complicated than it needs to be, but I'm wondering, I don't have a problem with the beach just because they've been there and it's not ideal, but it worked. They made it work. Would we want to maybe review this again, say, the end of the school year to see how the Linden property is working, if that's working okay, and approve it instead of waiting until March of 2020. Look at it, take another quick look at it just at the end of the school year to see how things have progressed and if things have worked out okay.
I guess I'm a little vague on, you know, how long do they plan on being there? And I guess maybe that's something that we could address to them specifically.
I'm assuming a lot of you are here to be able to answer those questions, so why don't you step to the podium, state your name and address, and
Stacy Wyand, 14582 Road 21 in Cortez. We do plan on only occupying this location for the rest of the school year. Our building is currently in the process of the cleaning and clearing of asbestos, and it just is not going to be done by spring break. We do intend on opening in August into our building on 601 North Mildred. The 215 North Linden building is already ADA accessible with ramps and ADA accessible bathrooms.
Can I ask a question about that building? So
Yeah.
is it, I couldn't tell from the pictures, is it where the funeral home used to be, or is it the office suites next door?
The office suites next door, and we have spoken to everyone. Either we or the owners of the building have spoken to all the other tenants in the building, including the church below. And I did go around a couple days and knock doors to the neighbors. Nobody really had much to say to me.
And did you speak to the landlord in case there's I don't want it to prohibit them from getting business with new tenants.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And they actually went with me to walk around and talk to all the other tenants to see their perception of the situation.
So you plan on being back at the Mildred location, both Beach and Linden Street locations will be vacated by the end of the year or the school year, and you'll be back in there for the following school year?
That's our plan.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'd just like to clarify that on there, somehow we have 6th through 8th on the Linden. We will have 4th and 5th graders in there, and that is going to be our testing center. One of the problems we ran into with the Beach Street location is because it's a big open warehouse with no walls, it's very noisy, and it did give us some testing issues last year because of that noise. And so that was one of the main reasons of wanting to add Linden into that location, was to be able to have a quiet testing space.
Is there going to be more than 10 to 15 students in there?
There is going to be, at most, there'll be 20 students in there.
all the time or just when they're testing?
Probably all the time, but mostly when we're testing is the big place where they'll be there. We're still working out the exact parameters of how we're going to move back and forth.
I guess in listening, my recommendation would still be to stay with, review it in March, because if something happens and the moving van gets a flat tire and they can't open like they need to be, they'll still be able to be somewhere and have classes. They'll have that security blanket, if you will.
It's a heck of a tire on that van.
Well, yeah. I mean,
We've had some heck of tires so far.
But it gives them a little bit of, instead of saying this permit ends at the end of the school year, I would like to still recommend it be an annual permit till March of 2020, and we can look at it again and see if it needs to be renewed or not.
And I'm sure if there are issues, we'll hear about it, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, at this time, I want to open a public hearing. If there's anybody that would like to speak for or against this resolution.
I just want to thank you for your time. I know we've been here a lot of times.
You've had some real issues to deal with this year. It's tried your patience, I'm sure, as well as your ingenuity. Is there anybody that would like to step forward? Okay. Public hearing is closed. If there are no other comments or questions, may I have a motion, please?
I was going to say, yeah, this keeps reminding me of the movie Groundhog Day. It keeps coming back and back and back. You know?
Is that your motion, Orly?
No.
Madam Mayor,
All right. Who would like to make a motion?
She's trying.
Sue?
I say that I'd like to consider for us to consider approving the resolution number 5, Series 2019, approving a conditional use permit to establish K-5 school at 25 North Beach and middle school at 125 North Linden, or was that 215 or what? These.
215.
Yeah, as submitted by Stacy Whalen and agent for the Children's Kiva Montessori School.
Second.
Second.
Sorry.
Betts?
Aye.
Noyes?
Aye.
Lucero?
Yeah, I guess so.
Carlson?
Aye.
Keel?
Aye.
Aye. All right. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Good luck. All right, the next several items are quasi-judicial in nature. I would like to ask or remind the members of council that if anybody has discussed this topic with anyone prior to this evening, you need to disclose the conversation so that the determination can be made as to whether or not you should participate in the discussion and vote on these matters. The first quasi-judicial is to set a public hearing date for a new hotel and restaurant liquor license for the Wheatland Pig. Anybody have any conversations that they need to reveal?
I don't know where it's located.
It's there where.
Yeah, you got
okay. I'm just smart. All right. Mike, you or Linda want to take the lead? Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony of law that the testimony that you will give before this council shall be the truth, the whole truth, and
nothing? Evening, council. You give me a report, or I was to give you a report on investigation of applicant of a hotel and liquor license applied for by Ernie Padilla, doing business as Wheatland Pig. The address of Wheatland Pig is 44 West Main. I was appointed and directed by the council to do this, to investigate the applicants for the state. I contacted the City of Cortez Planning and Zoning Office and spoke with Tracy Hughes. Tracy indicated that the zoning regulations do allow a hotel and restaurant liquor license as permitted use according to the schedule of the Land Use Code, Section 3.05A. Public notice was given by posting a proper sign on January the 15th on the property at that address. That public notice was attached to this report. There are several other businesses who have the same type of liquor license in the immediate area. A poll of the surrounding neighborhood, which is the City of Cortez, was taken to obtain opinion on granting this liquor license. The following is the result of that license. 53 were in favor of granting the license. 0 was against granting the license. 7 were neutral and did not wish to express opinion. The location complies with the Colorado Liquor Code rules and regulations. Location does not create any known public safety. A copy of the report was delivered to the applicant on February 22nd, 2019. The Cortez Police Department has no objection to the issue of this license.
that are in here. And did I mishear, the city did not circulate any petitions, or we did?
We did.
Okay. I would be asking that the city's petitions and the evidence report presented by Chief Lane be entered into the file of the record as evidence towards the application. And then if the applicants want to tell us.
Well, Marnie,
Just state
Ernesto
your name
Padilla.
and address, please.
Ernesto Padilla, 1919 Rolling Road. Green light.
Is it green? There should be a
It's
green
green.
ring at the base.
It's on.
If it's green, you're good.
All right. 1919 Rolling Road, Cortez. I am the owner and operator. I also have petitions that I have received from customers and in the surrounding area. And
Would you like these petitions entered on your behalf into the record for your application?
yes,
Council would do that, please. The only thing I would note is that Mr. Padilla is the circulator on some and some other folks are on the others, so he can't say much about the ones he didn't circulate. Does council have any questions for Mr. Padilla, or I don't know, this is awkward, sir.
yes, it is. Sorry about that.
No, I don't have any
I
questions.
just gotta get those petitions in first.
Yeah, this has been a long fought battle. I've been a local resident here since '91, and this has just been a dream of mine to open a restaurant, serve food, and along with it comes, you know, the risk of alcohol and the sales of it. So this is why I'm here, is to try to get all this taken care of.
It's nice to see that you're able to expand your business from your truck, your food truck that you had, to a
Yeah, and that was the start of it, was the food truck, and I still plan on doing a lot of the local events, the surrounding area, Memphis, Dolores, also with CREA, with the Third Thursdays, and with the City of Cortez in the parks, and you know, so it's just something I enjoy doing, and hope to keep planning on doing it in the future.
well, it's been a delicious addition.
Thank you.
Your food has been a good addition. Are there any other questions that council members have?
I have none.
Well, in that case,
Thank you.
may I have a motion?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion after considering the reasonable requests.
Public hearing.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah, yeah.
sorry, public hearing. My error. At this time, I will open up for public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against the establishment of a liquor license for this restaurant? Seeing no comments, now may I have a motion?
All right. Honorable Mayor, considering the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood, the desires of the adult inhabitants, the necessity of any restrictions on the license, the good character of the applicants, in compliance with all the provisions of Article 3, Article 44, Colorado revised statute, that council approve a new hotel and restaurant liquor license for the Wiggle and Pig Limited Liability Company, doing business as Wiggle and Pig, located at 44 West Main Street, Cortez.
Second.
Carlson.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. Congratulations. All right. The next item on the agenda is another quasi-judicial item. It's a public hearing for a new hotel and restaurant liquor license for Rudowski Unlimited. Linda.
This is a report concerning the investigation of the applicant for a hotel and restaurant liquor license applied for by Micah and Nat Radowski, doing business as Radowski Unlimited LLC. The address of Radowski Limited is 2310 East Empire Street, Cortez, Colorado. Council appointed me to do investigation, and the applicant for the state of the official position of the Cortez Police Department do report the following. Excuse me. Contacted the City of Cortez Planning and Zoning and spoke with Tracy Hughes. Tracy indicated the zoning regulations do allow hotel and liquor license as permitted use according to the schedule of Land Use Code 3.058. Public notice was given by posting a proper sign of February the 6th, 2019 on the property described in the application. A photo of the public notice is attached to this report. Requiring notice was published in the Journal on February the 1st. There are no other businesses that have the same type of liquor license in the immediate area. We did a poll asking people what their opinion of this license being granted. 55 were in favor of granting the license, 0 were against granting the license, 5 were neutral and did not wish to express opinion. The location applies with the Colorado Liquor Code rules and regulations. The location does not create any known public safety or endanger public health. A copy of this report was delivered to the applicant on February 22nd, 2019. The Cortez Police Department has no wishes that this application be granted.
At this time, the city would be asking the council considers evidence the chief's report and the petitions to these.
Yes, would you like to?
I'm Mike Radowski at 2310 East Empire and have applied for this hotel restaurant liquor license, and appreciate you to consider this. Take a look at this. I would like to hand in this petition in favor of the signatures that we placed.
Thank you, sir. We'd ask council to consider the petitions submitted by the Radowskis.
Does council have any questions?
I don't have any.
I have none.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'll open it up to public hearing if there's anybody that would like to speak for or against this liquor license. Okay. Public hearing is closed. If there are no other questions or comments, may I have a motion, please?
Your Honorable Mayor, after considering the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood and desires of the adult inhabitants, the necessity of any restrictions on the license, the good character of the applicants, in compliance with all of the provisions of Article 3, Article 44, Colorado Revised Statutes, that council approve a new hotel and restaurant liquor license for Radowski Unlimited, LLC, DBA Radowski Unlimited, located at 2310 East Empire, Cortez.
And second.
Keel.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Chief.
Aye. Well, congratulations. The last hurdle. Now, are you you guys are open for business now, correct? Are you open for business now? All right, okay. Well, congratulations. All right. Now everybody leaves. All right, we have resolution number 6, series 2019, approving the Bridgewater minor subdivision located at 27 South Broadway. Neva.
Okay. The City of Cortez has received an application from Ernie Manus, authorized representative for the owners Donald and James Bridgewater, to create a 2-lot minor subdivision at 21 South Broadway. The owners desire to create a single lot of 0.73 acres, leaving a 22-acre remainder property. Lot 1 is fully developed with the interlock building there. There will be no new utilities. They're all in place for the building. The property is zoned commercial highway, and this is just separating the interlock building from the existing lot there. So there's a copy of the plat. So this lot meets all of the City of Cortez requirements. This was sent out for agency review. The building official would like to see that all of the service line locations, if there's any easements that need to be added. I'll double check with that before the final plat is signed, but I think our surveyor has included all the information necessary. Our GIS review questioned whether or not they may need a new CDOT access, and CDOT has not indicated that they would need a new access to the building. Other than that, the minor subdivision meets all of the city requirements, so there shouldn't be any issues.
All right, council, any questions?
For me.
I have none.
All right, we have to have a public hearing. So I'll open it up for public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this minor subdivision? All right, seeing no comments. Now, may I have a motion?
Honorable Mayor, I'd make a motion to approve resolution number 6, series 2019, approving the Bridgewater minor subdivision located at 27 South Broadway as submitted by Ernie Manus for owners Donald and James Bridgewater.
Second. Keel.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Noyes,
Aye.
Quintero,
Aye.
Carlson,
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye. Resolution number 7, series 2019, is approving the RC Southwest minor subdivision located at 409 North Broadway.
Okay, this is just up the street from the previous resolution. The City of Cortez has received an application from Ernie Manus, authorized representative for the owner RC Southwest Development LLC. Southwest Development owns a 75-acre parcel, of which 1.2 acres are within the City of Cortez limits. The owner has proposed to divide 0.9 acres of this into a separate lot. The western lot line will align with the city limits boundary. The remaining 0.3 acres to the south is a 60-foot wide strip that adjoins Broadway, and that will be retained for Southwest Development to be utilized for access to the remaining property in the county. This property is also zoned commercial highway. The proposal will not create any new roads or utilities. This lot is vacant. When it's developed, it will of course require new utilities and such. And this was sent out for review. And again, there were no comments of issue for this plat. It meets all of the city requirements for a separate lot.
hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against the establishment of this minor subdivision? Close the public hearing. If there are no other questions or comments, I'd like to have a motion, please.
I'll make a motion approving resolution number 7, series 2019, approving the RC Southwest minor subdivision located at 409 North Broadway, as submitted by Ernie Manis, represented for the owner of RC Southwest Development LLC.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Aye. And one last subdivision, resolution number 8, series 2019, a minor subdivision at 1928 South Broadway. Neva.
Okay, so the city has received an application from Ernie Manis, authorized representative for owner Dean and Barbara Kirk Family Living Trust. The Living Trust owns a 46.89 acre parcel within the city limits. The owner has proposed to create a 1.6 acre lot to encompass an existing residence at 1928 South Broadway. The remaining acreage exceeds 35 acres and will remain in the trust's ownership. This property is zoned single-family residential. The proposal will not create any new roads or utilities. It is already depicted as a lot. However, there's no documentation that can be found that actually created this lot. So this will legalize the lot and allow the property owner to sell this property. So this meets all of the city requirements for a single-family residential lot. This was sent out for review. There was a comment about the water meter being quite far from the lot lines. I did check with Public Works to see if the meter needed to be relocated, and it does not. The easement is sufficient for the water meter, and where it is actually easier for the water meters to read than relocating it closer to the house. So it works out well for our Public Works department. There is an existing CDOT easement for the house. And I think that was it for all of the comments for this property. So.
Any questions, council?
I have none.
No.
All right, open this up to public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against the establishment of this subdivision, minor subdivision? All right, public hearing closed. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to ask that we consider approving resolution number 8, series 2019, approving the minor subdivision of 1928 South Broadway as submitted by Ernie Manis, authorized representative for owner Dean and Barbara Kirk Family Trust.
Second.
Noyes.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Aye. All right. That was a lot of public hearings. We have no unfinished business, so we're going to move on to, thank you. We're going to move on to new business. Contract approval for the 2018-2019 audits. John.
Thank you, Mayor. To give you a little background, when the new finance director was hired, I requested that he put out an RFP to, and do this every 5 years, that we change auditors so that they don't get familiar with the staff and the staff doesn't get overly familiar with them. Fresh eyes looking in our books periodically is a good idea, and I consider it to be best practice. As you're well aware, since Ben was hired, he's had some issues, and he came to me and said, you know, it's a little late to be putting it out for an audit when we haven't completed the last two, and we really need some continuity with the auditors. So we're requesting that council approve a 2-year contract to get through these audits, get our Cassell system up and running, and then we will put it out to bid as soon as we get through these.
right, are there any questions about that, council?
You said 2-year contract, that's to get through all the audits, correct?
Yes.
Anything else?
I just, at this time, it's not a good idea for fresh eyes because we need to get these past issues worked out, and they're already familiar with them. And I've been working on it for several years now, so this will get us to that point, and then we will start with the new auditor.
They should be familiar, right?
They better be.
Yeah, let's not break anybody new in. All right, may I have a motion, please?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to extend the contract with Mayberry and Company LLC for the 2018 and 19 financial statement audit periods.
Second.
Betts.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Cheek.
Aye. 2019 golf course greens roller bed.
Nope, missed one.
We have 7B.
I'm sorry. I jumped ahead there. Resolution number 9, series 2019, which is approving delegation of banking authority. John.
Thank you. Again, we just hired a new finance director, and I think the banks would like something for their files that council is aware that Ben handles our financial things, and this is just something for their files that you're aware that he's going to be taking this over, and I guess it's simple paperwork at this point.
He just signs, right? I mean, he just goes down.
Well, we both do on everything, so this is just so he can make investments and move money around when it's necessary and things like that.
Are we simply just replacing Kathy's name
Yes.
in the old resolution?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
No.
All right, may I have a motion?
Your Honorable Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 9, series 2019, Finance Director, Banking Authority.
Second.
Carlson.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Cheek.
Aye. Now, Rick, the golf course greens roller bed.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and City Council, the 2019 equipment budget provides $13,000 for the purchase of an additional greens roller. This unit will be used simultaneously with the first unit so that they can roll both the front and back 9 at the same time. Specifications were drawn up, bids received on February 13th. The Simpson Norton Toro was the low bidder at $12,500.98, which is $409.02 below the budgeted amount. And the purchases are budgeted in the equipment fund.
Questions, council?
I don't have any.
Okay. May I have a motion?
Make a motion awarding the 2019 golf course green roller bid to the low bidder, Simpson Norton, at the bid amount of $12,590.98.
Second.
Keel.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Cheek.
Aye. And now the 2019 golf course rough mower bid.
Thank you again, Honorable Mayor and City Council. The 2019 equipment budget provides $70,000 for the purchase of a rough mower for the golf course. This unit will replace unit number 545, which is a 2005 Toro unit. Specifications were drawn up, bids received on February 20th. We received 2 responses, and the low bidder is Postestio Brothers with John Deere, $59,941 with trade amount, which would bring it down to $58,441. The low bid amount would be $11,559 below the budgeted amount. And again, that is covered in the equipment fund.
Any questions?
So with the old rough mower, we trade that in, $58,441, so around a little over $1,000 trade-in for that thing?
The trade-in amount is $1,500.
Right, okay.
$1,500.
Guess they depreciate pretty quickly, huh?
I'm sorry.
Well, they get you so much.
Yeah.
Lot of resale value on those. I see a lot of used rough mower lots out there on
cheaper to
on the
keep
streets.
The advantage is it gets it out of the storage shed. All right, may I have a motion, please?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to purchase the golf course rough mower for the low bidder, from the low bidder, Potestio Brothers, at the bid amount of $58,441, including trade-in of unit number 545.
Second.
Keel.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks.
All right, Dean, 2019 Conquistador Golf Course Pro Shop flooring bid.
Yes, good evening, City Council, and yes, we'll continue along with the golf course, right?
Yeah, holy
It's all about the golf course.
Yes, it is tonight anyway.
Run out of money.
The Golf Course Pro Shop flooring is in need of being replaced as the facility has not had the flooring replaced for over 10 years. The Parks and Recreation staff is recommending to replace the ceramic tile and carpeted areas with a commercial vinyl plank flooring tile. This recommendation has been reviewed with the golf pro and meets his approval. Attached is a floor diagram showing what areas will be replaced with the new flooring tile. The bid was opened on Wednesday, February 20th, with one bid submitted by House of Carpets out of Cortez for $11,951.55. The bid of such is under the budgeted amount of $16,000 by $4,048.45. And it sounds like if they're awarded the bid, they want it to start tomorrow, though we have to do some paperwork first.
They can't start tomorrow?
I mean, they were wanting to if we didn't have all, but we have some paperwork requirements first.
Is this going to be put on the diagonal like this?
Pardon me?
Will the plank flooring be installed on the diagonal, as in the diagram?
Yeah, it'll be exactly where it shows in the diagram.
All right. Any questions?
Yeah. Do you know what type of flooring, like the price per flooring per square foot they're using?
It was all a lump sum bid, so it was bid off of what our specifications were.
Did was there ever a chance that you guys could put that out for a second bid to try to get another bidder on it? I mean, or do you have to take the first bid that comes along, or was able to do another bidding on it?
Well, I think it's just at the pleasure of the council. If you're, content with where the bid is, I think it's a reasonable bid. We did spec it out according to this supplier, and so Rick Smith may have some more to say because he actually received a phone call.
Gary, we sent bids out to all the local carpet layered flooring people, and that specification was for a Nucor. I think's the name of it. It's a certain type of flooring, and not all of the bidders were able to supply that unit. So.
Gotcha.
And how old did you say that other floor was?
Well, we couldn't really find a date on when it actually was replaced, so it was, but we figured at least over 10 years.
Is this special flooring that will allow people to walk on it with cleats, or?
Yeah, I believe it would be, very conducive, and for cleaning purposes too. I think right now what's out there, as was mentioned in the memo, is, you got ceramic tile and you have carpet, and this will get us, at least in the area that's bid out, a consistent floor throughout.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? May I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we consider awarding the 2019 Conquistador Golf Course Pro Shop flooring bid to House of Carpets Incorporated. Wow. At a bid of $11,951.55 to remove old carpeting and tile and furnish and install new commercial vinyl plant flooring tile.
Second.
Carlson?
Aye.
Lucero?
Sure, it's a good floor.
Keel?
Aye.
Hess?
Aye.
Noy?
Nay.
Chief?
Aye. All right, the 2019 fertilizer and chemical bid for the Parks and Rec Department. Dean.
Yes, the Parks and Recreation Department bids out its fertilizer and chemical product needs for the Parks and Golf Course Maintenance Divisions in one combined bid. This year, the Parks Maintenance Division is able to use from last year's fertilizer inventory and is not requesting additional fertilizer for this year. And I think a lot of it was due how dry it was last year, and a concern of, you know, it's not always conducive to put that down depending on what the weather is. Each fertilizer and chemical item is bid out separately to get the best overall price. The Golf Course Maintenance Division fertilizer and chemical bids includes granular and liquid fertilizer, herbicide, and liquid growth regulator for the greens. The bids were opened on Tuesday, February 12th, with 8 companies submitting bid proposals. And I just want to, at this point, Tom Kramlich, our golf superintendent, is here. He really helped get out the word with the companies, because I don't think we've ever had 8 companies bid this out. So I want to applaud him, as well as Rick Smith and their crew, that we got a lot of competitive bids, I think, because we had more folks that we sent this out to. Van Diest, Harrell's, Horizon, Wilbur Ellis, and Winfield had the lowest bids for the specified fertilizer and chemical products. The Golf Course Maintenance Division staff would like to purchase $14,902.30 of granular fertilizer product and herbicide from Van Diest, $2,883.75 of fertilizer product and growth regulator from Harrell's, $3,571.25 of liquid fertilizer product from Horizon, $1,273.50 of granular fertilizer product and growth regulator from Wilbur Ellis, and $2,048.33 of granular fertilizer product, herbicide, and a wetting agent from Winfield. The 2019 Golf Course Maintenance Division fertilizer budget allows for $33,000, and it would be $8,320.87 under budget. And a lot, if you really look at the spreadsheet, the Van Diest bid was very, very competitive. They definitely were interested in getting our business.
Well, good. Any questions about that?
I was going to say, John, with all this under budget, with all this money, our general fund would be pretty good, huh?
That's the idea.
All right.
All right. If there aren't any other questions, may I have a motion, please?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to award the 2019 fertilizer and chemical bid to Van Diest for $14,902.30, Harrell's for $2,883.75, Horizon for $3,571.25, Wilbur Ellis for $1,273.50, and Winfield for $2,048.33 for a total bid of $24,679.13 for the Golf Course Maintenance Division.
Second.
Carlson?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
Keel?
Aye.
Noy?
Aye.
Hess?
Aye.
Chief?
Aye. All right. The next item on the agenda is the approval of a letter of support for David Lana Waters for a grant for the purchase of a crusher for recycling concrete and asphalt. John?
The Waters have asked for a letter of support from the council. This is something that the staff is extremely excited about and ask that you do support this. It's been brought up to the COG or the Council of Governments, and the group that was there was extremely excited about this. It will save landfill space, it will save us transportation, and it will give us a base if we ever need base for any roads or anything. This is an extremely important thing. It'd be great for this area. And I heard the water say earlier tonight that they'd be accepting at no cost concrete and asphalt from private residents. So everybody in Cortez, if they got asphalt or concrete, they will take it and recycle it for us. So this is extremely important, and the staff is fully supportive of it.
Are there any additional questions? We talked about it already, so may I have a motion then?
Make a motion authorizing you, the mayor, to sign the letter of support for grant application for Dave and Lana Waters for funds to purchase a crusher to recycle concrete and asphalt that would otherwise be waste products.
Second.
Keel.
Aye.
Sarah.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Beth.
Aye.
Aye. It's a long meeting to sit through for that, huh?
Thank you, guys.
All right, ordinance 1265, series 2019 is the approval of a land exchange between the City of Cortez and STR Custom Coatings LLC. Is that Mike? That's Mike?
Yes, ma'am. This is just sort of the housekeeping part of what the city and the plan for the custom coating folks agreed to. We have some land they want, they have some land we want. Statute requires an ordinance, and, yep, sorry. This is a housekeeping part for a land exchange between the city and STR Customs Coating. We have some land on Texas Street they have some land that they're not using out near the Gear recreational area that the city could put to good use for another access and parking and attendant uses to Gear. This is really a no cost to anyone, no money's changing hands. The city did the subdivision of the custom coating property out in the industrial park. You have two deeds here. The statute requires a finding that it's beneficial to the city and STR Customs Coating to put this Texas private property back to private ownership and use, and then to put the property that the city's getting to use as part of the parks and rec inventorial lands. The Texas Street property appears to have been taken in satisfaction of money owed to the city for, I'm guessing, some sort of public improvements. And so we're not using it for anything. It's just been sitting there. So this is a benefit to them and a benefit to us, and it doesn't really cost anybody any great amount of money. Staff recommends approval of the ordinance and setting same for public hearing at the, March 12th, 2019.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about that?
No.
Do I have a motion for setting a public hearing then, please?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1265, series 2019, approving the land exchange between the City of Cortez and STR Custom Coatings Limited Liability Company, and set for public hearing on March 12th, 2019.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Beth.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Teal.
Aye. All right, the next item is another quasi-judicial item. I would just like to remind council that if anybody has discussed this topic with anyone prior to this evening, it has to do with setting a public hearing for a new beer and wine liquor license for the Hampton Inn to please state what conversations you've had so we can determine whether you can sit in on the conversation. Anyone?
I have.
All right, Linda.
We just,
Setting the public hearing to get the Hampton Inn,
Sorry.
to get the Hampton Inn on the next agenda so that we can complete the review. Roy Lane will complete the background check again, as well as we did for the other two tonight, and we'll set the neighborhood boundaries as the city limits.
Mike, did you need to add anything to that? Mike, did you need to add anything to that?
no, ma'am, it's just set it for a public hearing and away we go.
Okay, if there aren't any questions, can I have a motion?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to set a public hearing date of March 12th, 2019, and for the purpose of considering new beer and wine liquor license for Hampton Inn of Cortez, also known as A&A Enterprise of Cortez, located at 2244 East Hawkins Street.
Second.
Noyes,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Betts. Aye. Carlson.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. All right, fiber to the home, public-private partnership. We'll be considering authorizing the staff to begin formal negotiations with Allo Communications. John?
At the last meeting, the council approved awarding the bid to Allo, and at this point, staff is requesting authorization from council to begin negotiations with Allo to bring you a contract proposal in the future.
Are there any questions, council? May I have a motion, please?
Honorable Mayor, make a motion to authorize staff to begin formal negotiations with Allo Communications for the fiber to the home public-private partnership.
Second.
Betts. Aye. Noyes.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. We have no draft resolutions or ordinances, no other items of business. At this time, would any citizen like to address council? All right. The city attorney has no report. City manager.
I just have a couple reminders. The first reminder is for council that a week from today, on Tuesday, March 5th at 5:30, we will be meeting with the county commissioners, just as informal get-together to talk about issues that are of interest to both of us. And the other reminder is there's going to be a TES talk on March 15th. The doors will open at 5:15. If you've never been to a TES talk, I would recommend that you do go. Some of the council members attended the last one, and I thought it was really entertaining and very good. So these things are put on by CREA and the city, so we would encourage you to attend this if at all possible. And if you could let John Brooks know that you will be attending so he can get a head count, we would appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Are there any city council committee reports? Have you been to any meetings?
Makeda was canceled this month in February. Makeda was canceled.
Oh, that's right.
So that was the only one I had, so no report.
Okay. Anybody else? No reports?
I have one thing for the good of the city.
Yes.
The Cortez Idol finale is on Saturday. We have 4 contestants competing for $1,000, and it's free. Our contestants are a 13-year-old who's amazing, a 16-year-old who's amazing, a gentleman who recently moved to Cortez is a new person here, and then Madison Miller, whose parents operate the brewery. So if you get an opportunity to come at 7 p.m. at Blondie's, and it's free, and it's a family-friendly event.
And that's Saturday, right?
Saturday at 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And get there early.
Get there early. Yeah.
All right. The workshop this evening, we had the opportunity to meet our new city engineer, Chad Hill, who actually grew up here. He graduated from Montezuma Cortez High School, and now he's come back. Sam Mamet, who is the Cortez Municipal League Director, came to pay a visit, gave us an opportunity to not only touch base with Sam, but also to wish him a wonderful retirement because he's retiring in March. So we're probably one of the last cities he'll be visiting before he's leaves office. We did discuss the letter of support for David Lana-Waters grant application, and we discussed allowing council members to be able to participate in workshop meetings even if they could not physically be in the building. Specifically, Mike Levy will be back in town beginning March the 1st, we hope, and he's excited to continue to stay involved with the city. We then adjourned for an executive session for the purpose of receiving some legal advice and some specific legal questions regarding settlement of litigation. And that's all I have for the good of the city. Anybody else? We are adjourned.
Thank you.
High school.